Hey, hello, everybody. Good evening. This is Shannon Marshall, man, with the Texas Prison Transparency Project, episode number 19. First and foremost, my lady Ashlyn, man, she was feeling under the weather tonight, so she's sitting this one out. But I'm here tonight with a really live guest. Man, we've been blessed recently with some really great people that have been coming on the show. We learned all kinds of new information, new insights, things that we never considered before, right? And tonight we have the opportunity to meet another such standout person, a fairly almost unique individual. They say, everybody's unique and nobody's unique. But this man has some standout qualities in life, man. I really like him. I've recently been in contact with him. And man, I think y'all are going to enjoy everything he's going to bring to the table. So, King, why don't you introduce yourself, man? Just tell us a little bit about you to start off.
Well, first of all, Shannon, that was an amazing introduction. I really appreciate that. I first have to give it back to you because I've watched a couple of your interviews prior to us linking up. I'm a type of individual that I like to know a little bit about somebody before we engage on this level. And man, kudos to you, bro. Kudos to you. You've been out 7 months now?
Yes, sir.
You're flying, bro. You're flying. You're doing some amazing stuff. So I just have to give it back to you. Hats off to you. I would take my hat off, but my hair ain't cut. But you know what I'm saying? But yeah, symbolically, hats off to you, bro. Hands down for sure. But yes, I'm Elkanah King Hendrix. With the Climbers Code, that's the name of my podcast. But I'm very grateful to be a part of this project. I'm grateful to be a part of this podcast. Just a little bit about myself. I don't want to steal away from the questions that.
Oh, you're good, bro. We're about you tonight.
Yeah. All right. Well, a little bit about myself. Man, well, let's start with how I ended up getting arrested and incarcerated. I ended up robbing a jewelry store under the influence of some crazy thoughts. And
at what age?
35.
At 35. That late in life?
That late in life.
You call that a midlife? You call that a midlife crisis or what?
Hey, that's exactly what it was, man. It was a midlife crisis, and it was some extenuating circumstances behind it. But when I got to prison, I decided that when I got in county jail, because they say rehabilitation and successful reentry starts day one, right?
Day one.
So, and that's what happened with me. Day one, I would say night one. I decided, after consideration of doing some harmful things to myself, I decided to embark on this journey of self-discovery. I've discovered who I was, and I can say now who I was, but who I was at that moment. I discovered who I was and who I wanted to be. And I've been on this path, this beaten path, for 8 years now. I did 8 years in TDCJ, and I've accomplished, I feel like, a lot.
And I say a lot. I like that.
Right?
I like that. That's how I feel. A lot.
I've accomplished a lot because I still have a long way to go.
Mountains to climb.
Mountains to climb. That's what the Climbers Code is about. Mountains to climb. And I really don't think that there is a top. It's this mountain that is. I mean, it's larger than Mount Everest. We're going to continue to climb. Always be climbing.
Well, maybe just an interesting thought. And I know you're an intelligent, well-studied man, so I'll throw it out there. If you're familiar with like Maslow's hierarchy,
yes,
like needs that comprise humanity and the levels of humanity. It starts out the bottom of the pyramid is your most basic needs. Food and sustenance, water, shelter, clothing, and then each successive level is like more refined and more evolved. But at the very pinnacle of the pyramid is what they call self-actualization. And they say less than 1% of humanity ever attains self-actualization. Yeah, I just figured I'd toss that out there to you.
And I agree with that 100%, right? self-actualization, because I feel like I've reached a certain level of self-actualization, but even in self-actualization, I think there's things that's off the chart, right? Because you have to,
Absolutely.
one thing, you have to continue to remain in a learning state. I mean, even on a neurological level, you have to continue to learn, because once you stop learning and once you stop moving, then you become stagnant, and then you start
Mhm.
to fall down
Yeah.
that pyramid.
Stagnation is regression. Yes.
Absolutely.
Stagnation is like the first stage of rot. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Sit still too long, you start to rot. But anyway, brother,
For real.
you obviously have not been sitting still much, man. How long you been out now?
Uh, about 5 weeks, one day shy of five
Woo!
weeks.
That boy is fresh, yo. Still smell the chow hole. What is it? Pork noodle casserole?
Pork noodle beef noodle casserole, all of that, man. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's still on me.
Okay, bro. So tell me, man. We're gonna jump around here, man, a little bit, because I'm gonna shoot back to the beginning also. But tell me, man, 5 weeks out, how you feeling, bro? What
Ah,
state? What state of mind? What state of mind
it's
you in?
right now. I'm in a great state of mind right now, and if I'm being 1,000% honest, it fluctuates. Right?
Sure.
It fluctuates. I'm not always in a great state of mind, because all of this is new, to be gone so long. And I haven't been gone 25 like you, but
It's still years, brother. I
eight
get it.
years is a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time to do. And everything is different. I just posted something on social media today about that, how much things have changed. And from day one, you know, I equated the penitentiary system as Mars. It's a different planet. It's a different world.
Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
reason why we say the free world, right? Because they're
Yeah.
two
Because
separate
that's some
worlds.
other world, right? Yeah. That
Exactly,
makes
in
sense.
some other world. So to
I
go
like
from
that.
one world to the next world, it definitely takes some acclimation. I have to get reacclimated with everything.
Man, that's quite a lot actually, man. I've mentored a couple men since I've been out that have been getting out, right? That have needed a little guidance or whatnot in adjusting and making that transition. And there's several things that most even have in common. When we first get out, you don't sleep very much. At some point in the first week to 10 days, whether you ever felt it before or not, a lot of men start getting anxiety, like anxiety spikes. Some people get like almost panic attacks sometimes, just because they begin to get overwhelmed. Like I remember I did it. I'd never had anxiety before in my life, really, but just thinking about all these things that I need to do
Yes.
and what I should be doing something right now. Why am I not doing something right now? So what should I be doing, and how do I prioritize this and put it in order? And oh man, and you just, before you know it, you're sitting there 30, 45 minutes later still arguing with yourself and ain't done nothing.
I had
Hey,
I had been preparing for this, for my moment of release, for years,
yeah.
right? And I never experienced anxiety before in my life, ever, until 2 days ago. It took me a little
See?
bit longer, but 2 days ago I experienced my first bout of anxiety, and it really debilitated me. I After I began to think clearer, I realized that my blood pressure had to have spiked because this migraine came out of nowhere. And what the situation was, me and my brother-in-law, we were having a conversation, because day day two, I created my vision board, right?
Yes.
And I've been checking things off, checking boxes off, and I have all these plans and all these goals and all these visions, and there it became overwhelming to me. And he said one little thing, hey, did you do this yet? And I thought about it, because I didn't do that one piece of, one project that I was supposed to get done that day
Yeah.
from my vision board, and my anxiety just shot through the roof. I got this migraine. I had to take 2 Tylenols and lay down. I'm like, what is this? I've never experienced this
Yeah.
before. So it's real.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially when you never experienced it before, because I hadn't either. At first, I didn't know what it was. I'm like, man. I just know I don't feel right.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I know I'm stressing or I'm tripping or something, but I don't want to be. But anyway,
Really.
that faded over time too, man. After 8 years, bro, how do I say, man? How do you take your moments of appreciation on a daily basis? Do you indulge in gratitude and appreciation on a daily basis still?
It's sometimes I'm moving so fast, right?
Mhm.
I mean, and to your comment about lack of sleep,
Yeah.
I've been for the past 3 years in incarceration. I've been waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning every morning, clockwork, right?
Mm.
But
Pancake.
well, no, I stopped eating pancakes a long time ago. I had to stop the pancakes, right? But it was to work out. I had to be at work at 6 at the Echo Prison newspaper, but it was to work out, to shower, to meditate, not the da da da, but just to sit there with my
Nah, get your
earplugs
mind
in,
right. Yeah.
right? My eyes closed and just meditate. And but in prison, I had the opportunity to go to sleep at a much earlier time, 7 o'clock p.m.,
Yeah.
8 o'clock p.m. at the latest is when I'm asleep. So I was
Mhm.
getting good rest and waking up at 3. Now out here, I go to sleep much later, 10, 11, because I'm doing things. There's more things to do. There's family and everyone is
Endless.
is
Yeah.
is is pulling for your attention. And you have to hand it out sparingly because there's so many people pulling, for your attention and vying for it, which they deserve it. Your
Yeah.
family who haven't seen you in so long, they deserve that attention. But I've been going to sleep later and waking up um, at the same time, 3 o'clock like clockwork. I cannot shake that 3 o'clock. No, the only way I can do that is that I have to go to sleep at 3 o'clock. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's the only way. It's
Yeah,
the only
let's
way for
try
me
not
to.
to do that.
I know, right?
I'd
But
rather not. Yeah.
so I've been tired lately, right? And I'm still moving fast, light speed, in all the things that I need to do because I know what I need to accomplish. So sometimes, to your question,
Yeah.
I forget to just breathe for a minute and appreciate things and to be grateful for being free for
Oh,
one, although I
yeah.
still have the ankle monitor on, but I have a level of freeness,
Us.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. But you can quickly forget to be grateful and to appreciate if you're moving so fast. So I
Yeah.
had a conference call.
If you're moving that fast, I would probably describe that as too fast. Because not, and I don't, I'm never gonna get preachy with you or nothing, brother. But that's one thing that is so important. You cannot lose your appreciation and gratitude for being able to live out here free as we're allowed to live, whatever, right? But still out here instead of in there, and
Yeah,
all of the many many millions of things that we used to take for granted that we missed so much. Man, bro, you cannot ever lose sight of that. Like, it really puts me in mind of a quote, and then I'll move on. But there's a quote that's very similar that says something along the lines of a man who does not fear the man who does not to fear the man who does not fear to lose his integrity. How does it put it? The man who does not fear to lose his integrity is most at risk of it, right? So apply that to your appreciation and gratitude of everyday life out here. Like, you know what does it for me? Sun rises, the dawn. I'm a early bird, just like
yeah,
you. I like to
yeah.
see the dawn. But anyway, yeah, that's what feeds the soul, brother. I ain't gonna go on too much about it, but that is so important. I hope you remember that part.
And I'm gonna
But
take that advice from you, bro, for real.
man,
I'm
that's
taking
what
that advice.
nourishes your heart and soul, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, that keeps you
absolutely.
smiling, man, when life gets hard. Yeah.